Welcome to Story House. Today's story title is The Dark Prophet, the darkness that called itself light. I have seen things that words cannot explain. I have watched a man stretch out his hands and with only a whisper, make the strongest warriors fall to their knees. I have seen him heal the sick with one touch, yet in the dead of night, he would stand before an old tree, speaking to things that had no faces. His name was Odejimi, and in our village, he was known as the Light of the Most High. But he was not light. He was a man who covered darkness in white robes, who spoke of God but served the shadows. He built a shrine that he called a temple, and from there, he ruled us, not with swords, not with spears, but with fear. You want your children to live, he would say, then obey, and we obeyed. Until the girl came. When Abeni was born, Odejimi was there. I remember that day well. The sun burned hot and the river was silent as if the whole world had paused to watch. The child did not cry like most newborns. She only opened her eyes and Odejimi stepped back as if he had seen a spirit. This child, his voice shook. She must not live. The village gasped, but no one questioned him. If Odejimi said the child was dangerous, then she was. That night the baby's mother died suddenly. The next day, the baby's father was found drowned in the river. But the child, she lived. No snake bit her, no sickness touched her, no harm came to her. Odejimi sent warriors to take her, but every time they reached for her, their hands would freeze, their bodies shaking as if held by unseen hands. Still, he did not give up. He sent famine, he sent fire, he sent whispers in the night to those who would listen. But the child, she lived. And as she grew, his power began to break. Abeni was 6 years old when she first spoke against him. It was at the temple, where the villagers had gathered to offer their sacrifices, goats, yams, even gold. Odejimi stood before them, raising his staff, calling on the Most High to bless them. But before he could finish, Abeni walked forward. A small girl, dressed in rags with eyes too bright for this world. You are a liar, she said. Silence. Odejimi's face twisted with anger. Who dares speak in the house of the Most High? Abeni stepped closer. The Most High does not live here, she said. He never did. A cold wind blew through the temple. The flames in the lanterns flickered. The villagers trembled, waiting for Odejimi to strike her down. But he did not move. For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. Abeni lifted her small hands. Your time is over. The ground shook. The walls of the temple cracked. Odejimi screamed, clutching his chest as if something unseen was crushing him. The villagers ran, some falling to their knees, crying out to the real God they had long forgotten. And in the center of it all, the little girl stood, untouched. Odejimi was never seen again after that day. Some say he ran into the forest and never returned. Others said the earth swallowed him whole. But one thing was certain, the fear that held us captive was gone. Abeni never called herself a prophet, never built a temple, never demanded worship. She only taught us one thing. Light does not need to be forced. When it is real, it shines by itself. And in that truth, we found freedom. Jesus Christ is that light, which lighted up everyone that cometh into the world. Surrender to him today and be safe.